Today we are going to be dealing with local government, particularly focusing on regional development. The press statement is really being presented in 4 segments. The first segment is going to be read by the Shadow Minister for Local Government and Regional Development. The second segment by the Chairman of Region 4. The third segment by the Chairman of Region 7. And the final segment by the Chairman of Region 10, who I understand is almost here. Now let me, of course, I don't really need to introduce these gentlemen. I'm sure they're familiar to you, but let me just, as a matter of formality, introduce on my left, immediate left, Mr. Ronald Volcan, who is the Minister responsible for local government and regional development. To his left is Mr. Clement Corlett, who is the regional chairman for Region 4, and to his left, Mr. Gordon Bradford, who is the regional chairman for Region 7. And when Mr. Solomon arrives, to my right, he will be Mr. Sharma Solomon. So without any further delay, let me ask Mr. Volcan to read his segment of the press statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Lance. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Allow me to say once more what a pleasure it is for me on behalf of APNU to have yet another opportunity to interact with members of the media and to assist us in disseminating our message and in relation to today's press conference, the particular experiences of the 3 regional chairmen of the regions in which APNU has a majority of councillors on the RDC. And these, of course, are Region 4, Region 7, and Region 10. And I'll read from our prepared text. APNU reminds central government of their obligations to honor constitutional provisions regarding the role and authority of the RDCs. The RDCs should be allowed to function in accordance with the laws of Guyana. We remind the government and citizens as well of what the Constitution and implementing statutes/laws specify regarding the scope and authority of the various tiers of local government and their various organs. These provisions are contained in the Laws of Guyana, Chapter 2809, Local Democratic Organs. The pertinent articles are listed hereunder. Article 3 says, and it sets out the general objectives of the system of local government, and these are stated as, and I quote, to involve as many citizens as possible in the task of managing and developing the communities in which they live and ensuring popular participation in organizing the political, economic, social, and cultural life of those communities. Article 7 states what should be the duty of each local democratic organ. Some of these are to maintain and protect public property, to protect and improve the physical environment, to improve working and living conditions, to stimulate economic activities and improve production and efficiency, and finally, to promote the social and cultural life of the people. Article 8 allows for a local democratic organ, with the approval of a minister, to make regulations for the proper management and administration of its area, the raising of revenues by tolls, rates, taxes, and dues, and acquiring land compulsorily for local government purposes. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, it is apposite for us to restate the above, as there is a deliberate campaign to seek to reduce the effectiveness of the RDCs to manage public affairs in accordance with the constitutional and statutory provisions. Currently, there is an intolerable level of interference by central government which sees the appointed element, the ministry's employees, and particularly the REOs, seeking to undermine and usurp the authority of elected councillors. These actions are counterproductive and, where they exist, results in conflicts and inefficiencies. The government's predilection for tampering with the independence of the RDCs is unhealthy, and we say once more they must desist from this course. As a responsible partner in national development, APNU will adhere to proper procedure and will continue to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development first, but we will utilize, if necessary, the National Assembly to protect and enhance the integrity and independence of duly elected local democratic organs and councils. Today we are pleased to have this interaction with the media along with the 3 chairmen of the regions in which APNU has a majority of councillors on the RDC. Our regional chairman will speak on the vision and ideas that inspired their 2013 budget submissions. While the proposed interventions are region-specific, the common philosophy that pervades these proposals is the overarching aim of bringing the good life that APNU promised its supporters and all citizens of Guyana when we campaigned at the last national elections held in November 2011. This can only be achieved by consulting with the residents in every community to learn of their needs and using objective criteria to prioritize how these will be addressed. Consultation, efficiency, monitoring of all works lie at the core of the approach of our chairmen and councillors, whose objective is to improve conditions in their regions, living standards of residents, and development to benefit all. We invite central government to be a genuine and sincere partner in this quest. We say the people's interest must come first, not partisan political considerations. Thank you.
Chairman of Region 4 will read this segment.
Thank you, Mr. Carberry, MP Bulkan, my colleague, Regional Chairman. Before I go into my presentation, I want to say that I share the views of the MP on the Article 8 because I want to say emphatically that Region 4 attempted, I think, in the late stage of the last council to implement Article 8 to move to a position to assist our finances by implementing a regime of collections of rates and so on. We submitted a detailed proposal, we never had a response from the government because we were satisfied we were not getting adequate funding through the present process, and we'll follow it up. I'll search for the details, and there you have it. To come to what I have to say, ladies and gentlemen of the media, Region 4 budget is prepared with the vision of improving the health, living conditions, and socio-economic environment of communities. The principal objective of the budget is to prepare a work program for each of the governance structured subject areas of activity. That is administration and finance, agriculture development, through drainage and irrigation, maintenance and management, public services, health, and education. And the benefits will be through the favorable impact on communities in terms of living conditions, will realize through the repairs and maintenance of roads and bridges on the public works program. Improved roads are also expected to lend support to enhance economic activity within communities. Maintenance of health centers and other regional health institutions will assure healthcare delivery and services to residents of Region 4. The ambulance service to provide transportation in case of need is a component of the regional healthcare delivery of Region 4. For the education sector, Region 4 intends to have a vibrant schools building maintenance schedule. In addition, the region will be paying close attention to school sanitation and other infrastructure maintenance. The safety of schools remains one area of serious concern. The experiences with the Clark Regional Executive Officer leaves much to be desired. The officer seems determined to promote his own program agenda and is reluctant to account for expenditures not approved by the RDC, and he acts outside mandate of Regional Democratic Council on occasions and rarely resists request to account. To deviate just for a minute, the records were examined about a month ago or a little more, and we found that out of savings from appropriated funds to the region, a little over $100 million would have been there. And from the information contained to me in the letter, he was implementing works using those monies. He was challenged to provide the amount of savings all told and what works we're doing, and we haven't had a response yet. We're still following this up because we're not going to give up on that. So that is what we're talking about. We don't agree, the clerk or the REO, but implement works on his own without consulting council, not using so much money. With regards to the 2013 budget program and budget presentations, the cursory review of the decision of the Regional Democratic Council and the submissions forward to the Ministry of Finance for consideration indicate that the Regional Executive Officer may have altered the projects, or at least some of them, the Regional Democratic Council approved, and substitute his own request. The Council is looking into this development. If we go to the back, you'll see where you see the deficit, that represents the monies we see missing from our total submission. So let me go through first the capital expenditure. These didn't have much of a difficulty. We're asking for next year for $530,540,000 to undertake all the works in the listed areas you've just seen here. On the land and water transport, 24,04700, $19,400,000. That request is to facilitate new vehicles for the region, including the Office of Regional Chairman, because that vehicle is over 20 years old. It's a serious risk right now with people that travel. We've not been getting any new vehicles. This year we had only 2, but they're inadequate. And under education, we have a vibrant program as we've outlined. So we're asking for $59.5 million. The other areas are to maintain health services, to obtain new equipment, and so on. Now, under the current expenditure, what has been projected here are the areas for project execution. This section is not really the total budget. It is to deal with the programs we have to implement that will bring benefit to the people. Because the other aspect of the budget will deal with emoluments and so on. We're asking for $73.3 million, but you've noticed we've seen in the submissions $43.2 million were submitted. This particular account is important to us since this is the account through which the Office of the Regional Chairman manages the business of the Council. This year, we had a measly $11.5 million out of a request of close to $20 million. So we're hoping they will give us a debt allocation this time. And under agriculture, this is the area to maintain all our canals, cocos, sluices. We have projected $106,625,380, but we've seen the submission for $125 million. And so we have to follow up to understand how they arrive at that. That's not what we were intended to. And on the roads, we were asking for well over $77 million, and we've seen on the current project, they're asking for just $60 million for roads. On public works, the bridges and other infrastructure, we don't have a problem there, and the health, education sector. But on the education sector, but under the health, we had a disappointment when the officer was a fairly new officer and they weren't able to produce us a budget. So what we're seeing here is what they decided on. They didn't bring it to the council, even at the time we were constrained or after, even though requests were made. So my concern is the officers appear to be under orders from other than the region, because we continue to ask for them to do what is prudent and necessary and within the framework of the council, but it is still difficult at times to get the full compliance and the full response as we like. So this is the situation with our budget. We're hoping for a better consideration in the new year. But lastly, a situation has been revealed recently where in presenting our budget to the Ministry of Finance, in the past, we've had invitations where the regional chairman or representative would be there to help explain and discuss the budget. But that didn't happen. The chief planning officer sent just for the clerk and his officers. And I phoned him and registered my objections, but I didn't go since it wasn't formally invited. So the point I'm making is, the government is not giving the type of respect they should to the Regional Democratic Council. And we don't understand or accept how we can only listen to the clerk and his officers in defending the budget. So that matter isn't closed. I'm to take it up with him more formally to let them know I'm not pleased with those underhand measures that they've taken in discussing the review of the program for consideration of the 2013 budget. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Chairman of Region 7.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salary, Mr. Wan and my colleague from Region 4. Members of the media, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for this opportunity to speak with the public on matters of importance to my region and its people, being region of the 7th billion Majoroni. On my election to office, I had pledged to all and sundry to work with our stakeholders for the development of Region 7 and its people. We cannot continue to accept confrontational political behavior, disrespect for elected regional leaders by central government ministries, which is done mainly through appointed regional executive officers who behave as though they are an authority unto themselves. Add to this the many unannounced visits to our region by ministers of the government, and no less the president himself. It must be pointed out that the regional chairman or the council, we are not informed on most occasions when these visits take place, but lo and behold, the regional executive officers is well informed. I call upon those responsible to allow the Regional Democratic Council system to function as it was designed to, and that's mainly to serve the people. And they should cease centralizing the delegated functions of the RDCs. For example, let me just cite a few examples. House lot and land allocation is done mainly through the central housing ministry. The RDC has no role whatsoever to play in house lot allocation and land allocation. What we see happening is that we have visits from personnel from the Ministry of Housing coming into the central location bar keeper, and then they would announce meetings and people would attend and interviews would be conducted, and not personnel from the regional democratic councils involved in this. And I'm simply positive that if we are elected democratically to represent our people in the region, how can central government, our most important resource other than our people, land, just does this allocation without any involvement whatsoever from the regional democratic council? That's just one issue. And we look at this whole scenario as it's played out. Right now, I would like to just mention that in the Upper Mazruni, in a small village by the name of Apnu, there is an incident now unfolding where mining permits were issued to personnel. The persons, and they have moved into the area without even any consultation whatsoever with the villagers who are going to be affected in whatever way by whatever mining activities will go on in that Apnu River. So that issue is engaging the attention right now. You would have read a bit in the news media. But that's just another example of how things are being done. Our regional economic project, when I served my first stint as regional chairman, I was accustomed that the Regional Democratic Council was the agency that was responsible for that project. And any spending from that economic project would have had to be approved by the regional chairman. That is no longer so. It's done mainly by the RDO. And if we don't question, we are not told what is happening. I would just like to give you some insights into our proposed regional budget 2013. It's entitled Charting the Course for a Better Life for All our People by the year 2016. The 2013 proposed regional budget, Region 7, was prepared after consultations with various stakeholders throughout the region, including regional councillors who represent various constituencies, village councils, regional officers, heads of department, and concerned citizens. I'd just like to go into some of the major details of our capital budget, which includes, on the program 771, regional administration buildings, extensive repairs to our regional guest house to the amount of 10 million, improving the Bartico Regatta Pavilion to the tune of $10 million. These two structures are very, very important to our community of Bartico. The regional guest house is where we would accommodate government officials, and it serves also as an economic project to the RDC. The Bartico Regatta Pavilion, as you would know, that Regatta is our main tourism attraction, and so we'll seek to improve the facilities in that area. Program 772, Public Works, Roads and Bridges. Here we have an amount of 79 million budgeted. Under this program, several roads and bridges are slated for construction/rehabilitation. For example, the West Indian Housing Scheme roads, we hope to spend 15 million. Caribbean's Housing Scheme roads, we hope to spend an amount of 15 million there. Bamford Point, which is an area that is being developed and populated, we hope to spend another 15 million there to put in a new road network. Pedestrian bridge at the wall of Majroni, we hope to spend 15 million there. Just to give you an insight into that, Jawal is a community that is separated by a small river. It goes by the name of Kukwi. But most of the resident resides on the left bank, whilst most of the government infrastructures like health posts, schools, community centers is on the right bank. We've had incidents where about 3 children perished trying to cross that small river where the current is very, very strong, especially during heavy rainfall. So we hope to bridge that river so the residents on the left bank could have easy and safe access to the other, to the right bank. We hope to construct a heavy-duty bridge also by the Rabo to the amount of $6.5 million. And we hope to continue our river defense work. As you know, that our river defense is being threatened continuously by river. So we have started a program some years back, since in 2002, where every year we'll do some work on river defense. And we hope that by the year 2016 to have that whole area protected from erosion. Under program 773, which deals with education delivery, we have an amount of $83 million. We hope to construct a new school at 72 miles to the tune of $18 million. The current building that is now in use has been there for some 40-something years. And when we looked at doing rehabilitation works to that building, we thought it would be a waste of time. So we thought about constructing a new school. Rehabilitation and extension will be done on school buildings at Tibali to the amount of $15 million. Rehabilitation and extension will be done to school buildings at Timbimidai to the amount of $8 million. The dormitory facilities at Ramadan will see $6 million extension. And this very well may be put on hold, as we have learned that central government may be constructing a new secondary school in the Upper Majroni. The location is still to be decided, but again, we heard this through the grapevine, and we heard that there was some meeting in the Upper Majroni to discuss this. Officially, our RDC has not been consulted as yet. But we would hope to support such a project because of the vast overcrowding of the Ramadan secondary school. So we hope that definitely we'd want to have that new school complex built. A new $12 million teachers' quarters will be constructed at Bartico for secondary school teachers. We have noted that it has been a very difficult job to encourage qualified and graduated teachers for secondary school. So we thought that if we should continue to provide quarters, furnished quarters for our teachers, they would be more encouraged to come to the region and to help to educate our children. At Paro, they will receive a $6 million sanitary block to replace pit latrines that they currently use. Household furnishings and boats and engines also will be provided for various areas under education delivery. Program 773, Health Services, we have a budget of $60 million. Here we hope to have a new health post constructed at Jinipuru Landing. That is a community which saw vibrant logging, but over the years that has been toned down, and but we still have residents who are born there and who see Jinipuru as their home. And it's difficult for them to travel out to Bartico or maybe to Linden to seek health care. So we have decided that we should construct health posts there, and we have already applied to have health worker training. So that by the time we finish that, we have the health worker to take up that position. We are also looking to do a $5 million extension to the Cameron District Hospital. $6 million extension to the Jawala Health Post also. The Jawala community has seen an increase in population due to mining activities, and the current health post there is almost trained to provide health services for the residents. A number of boats and engines will be provided under this head to help our medical staff to deliver better health care to our people. Various pieces of equipment also will be provided through the region on this head so that our healthcare personnel can deliver a more efficient service to the residents. Maintenance program 772, Public Works 6242 to 6255. Various maintenance works will be undertaken to roads, buildings, bridges, drainage and irrigation, river defenses and other infrastructure. A total of $239 million is budgeted for this program. It is hoped that our 2013 regional budget will receive the full support of all involved, especially central government, as our budget is crafted by the people for the people, with a vision of satisfying the needs and aspirations of our people, thus offering a better life for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Once again, let me apologize for the late arrival of the chairman of Region 10. The text of his presentation is not included in the present press statement, but I can promise you that before the day is over, we will in fact send you a complete press statement which includes his presentation here today. So without any further delays, let me ask Mr. Shabby Solomon to inform you about the 2013 budget presentation for Region 10.